The walls between the White House and Ripple, they just got paper thin. And what was revealed at Swell might be the biggest political and financial crossover crypto has ever seen. This isn't rumor. This is happening. And the connection between Trump, Ripple, and XRP, it is a lot deeper than anyone has expected. And we're starting right here, folks. President Trump just made a press conference, a press release stating that we are making the United States the Bitcoin superpower, the crypto capital of the world. That one sentence right there by President Trump, it changes absolutely everything. Listen.
We're making the United States the Bitcoin superpower, the crypto capital of the world, and the undisputed leader in artificial intelligence.
The crypto capital of the world. Look, behind closed doors, Ripple's been building the rails. And Trump and his team, they know that. This isn't just a pro-crypto statement. This is a policy shift that is setting the stage for what comes next. Regulated, institutional-grade crypto infrastructure. And Ripple's right at the center of it, everyone. Just hours before that announcement, something big dropped at Swell. Did you catch it? Because at Ripple Swell event on stage with Brad Garlinghouse was Patrick Witt. Yeah, the same Patrick Witt from the White House. He sat down with Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. And what did he say? He said, we're going to see market structure by the end of the year. Regulations, clarity. You thought the bull run was done? Are you kidding me? That's Washington level confirmation. Someone from the inside who knows what is going on behind the scenes, telling you that regulatory framework for crypto, you know, the ones institutions have been waiting for, it's finally here. And Ripple isn't just talking to regulators anymore. They're building with them. Listen to this.
Predictions for the industry.
I think as far as the market structure bill goes, we are maintaining, before the end of the year, the president wants that piece of legislation on his desk, and so we're continuing to apply pressure, having regular meetings. I spend most of my time on Capitol Hill these days, meeting with senators from both sides of the aisle to get that done. I'm optimistic that we've seen enough progress recently to where the trend line is moving in the right direction. And I think we're going to get a good piece of legislation done and over to the president for signature in short order.
We heard it here. By the end of the year, we're in.
There you go.
By the end of the year, we are in. And Trump's statement right here, letting you know that the U.S. is going to become the crypto capital of the world. Well, guess what? That kind of solidifies everything, right? And look, if you're out here stocking coins, watching charts, and waiting for the next move, the real move is you. The best investment isn't XRP. The best investment is yourself. Book a call with me. I'll walk you through everything, setting up your LLC, structuring the write-offs, and what you can be and can't be doing, and position yourself before that next major wave hits. Stop guessing, folks. Start building. Use that link down below, which brings us over to this, because this is where the story absolutely explodes. We're talking Ripple's IPO bombshell. That's right. It states in here in the thread that was put up by Smoke that Ripple's IPO value is directly tied to XRP's market price. And with the new accounting rules in place, well, it could make it one of the most valuable companies in crypto history. Most people, they just don't realize how tightly Ripple's valuation is actually linked to the price of XRP. So what does that mean? It means that Ripple wants the price of XRP to go higher. The higher the price of XRP, the more Ripple is going to be able to IPO for. Let that sink in. A 2023 valuation, we look back on it, right? It pegged Ripple around 28.6 billion. That was just with XRP sitting around 60 cents. It stated clearly that, let me pull up the document so you can see it, that Ripple's largest asset is its XRP holdings. 46 billion tokens. At that time, Ripple's balance sheet showed about 1 billion in cash or securities and 46 billion XRP tokens. Now, this came from the FASB, I'll get it right, rule under ASU 2023-8 if you want to look it up yourselves. And this one rule changed everything because now companies, they must report their crypto holdings at a fair market value, meaning Ripple's IPO valuation, it's going to literally move with XRP's live market price. And when those reports were written, XRP was 60 cents. Ripple was worth 26.8 billion. Today, XRP's trading what, around 230-ish, 224, 230. It puts their value north of $100 billion. That is larger than Coinbase and bigger than several US banks by market cap. Yeah, that's right. Think about that for a second. So every uptick in XRP's price directly increases Ripple's reported worth. And as XRP's institutional integration deepens, that number, it could soar even higher. Which brings us to this, because at Swell, Brad Garlinghouse, he dropped another truth bomb. He said, today we announced a $500 million investment in Ripple from Fortress, Citadel Securities, Pantera Capital, Galaxy, Braven Howard, and Marshall Weiss, valuing Ripple at $40 billion. If you didn't listen to the video that dropped right before this, go give it a listen. We got into great depth on this and what this actually means. And we talked about that new Ripple MasterCard integration where they will be using the XRP ledger. So we're looking at a who's who of Wall Street pouring into Ripple, pouring their money into Ripple before the IPO has even happened. That is giving us a clear signal that they are betting on XRP's future utility and market dominance. This isn't speculation. This is a strategic accumulation of influence, capital, and control, which puts us at this, talking about Ripple's IPO. The SBI reevaluation. It's stated in here, and I'll blow it up. From SBI, we all know SBI Japan, that XRP's true value will be revalued after the IPO. Think about that for a second. SBI is one of Ripple's biggest global partners, and they basically just confirmed that the market hasn't priced in what's actually coming. Once Ripple goes public, the world will finally see what XRP integration really means. You can see all the documents on your screen. It's talking about the international remittance solution, all the 100 plus financial institutions in over 55 countries, which is a lot more at this point. The US dollar backed stablecoin talks about RLUSD is going to be used for collateral and other purposes with an inroad. I hope you understand all this. This is huge. Look, I made this comment before, and I will continue to make this comment. XRP's price at $2, $2.25, $2.50, whatever you want to call it. It's in the $2 range, right? I know it's worth a crap ton more than that. I've been here 8 years. I did not get into XRP for the past 8 years for a $2 XRP to sell my bags. With all of this news that is coming out, it is only a matter of time before that switch gets flipped. It's going to happen. And then what are we going to see? A double-digit XRP is going to appear like that. And that is when us holders, we're going to get the last laugh here. And then Bank XRP dropped this. Matthew Osborne from Ripple. That's right, from Ripple. He dropped this quote that sends chills through the audience. He stated, and I quote on this, with a public blockchain, anyone can participate, permissionless and built for institutions. He stated, anyone can participate, avoiding silos and creating a more vibrant ecosystem for developers. Now, he's clearly talking about the XRP ledger, talking about how it's built for institutions. Here's the setup right now, and I'll blow up the document for y'all. RLUSD is nearing a $900 million market cap. The Hidden Road acquisition, expanding Ripple's reach into traditional finance. This is backed by the OMFIF, who is the official monetary and financial institutions forum. That's your think tank that advises central banks, if you didn't know. Ripple isn't just aligning with crypto. It is aligning with global finance itself, which brings us over to this. Is at Swell NYC, there was a powerhouse panel featuring Hunter Horsley from Bitwise, Stephen McClurg from Valkyrie, and Luke Karsten from Polysign, and Bloomberg's Eric Balachunas. They took the stage. Their message, it was very clear. Regulated products like spot XRP ETFs are about to drive the next wave of institutional investment. Now think about that. We just heard about the MasterCard partnership. We know about Ripple Prime. We know about the massive investment from Citadel and Galaxy, all coming on board wanting a piece of this. Why? Because they understand what XRP is going to be used for. We also had that very confusing clip from the lady from Chase who stated that it pretty much sounded like she was announcing a partnership without announcing a partnership with Ripple. We're talking about the demand because it's already here and the access that is coming. Listen.
Everyone should be unbelievably excited. It's all happening now. This space for the first time is going mainstream in 2025. Part of going mainstream means that there are people coming on board, incredible institutions here at Swell who are building services, integrating, but they're mainstream by definition because they're doing other things also. I have never seen it feel as inevitable as it does right now in this year that crypto is arriving to update the financial system and will be a mainstream asset class.
Crypto is arriving to update the mainstream financial system. Ripple's positioned XRP right in the middle of that liquidity highway. Ripple has told you that themselves. When regulations meet infrastructure, that is when you get exponential adoption. That's when it starts. And that is exactly what we are seeing. And in the reflection on all this from CoinDesk and Brad Garlinghouse, as the event wrapped, Brad Garlinghouse took the mic and he said, the fact that the president was on 60 Minutes talking about crypto, he said, I never thought that we would actually be here. You can feel the shift in the room, the energy, the realization that crypto has officially crossed over from shadow regulation to the global conversation. Just look at the lineup at Swell and all the major names and the major players that were in that room. Fidelity, BlackRock, Citi, JP. They were all there for a reason, folks. The White House was even there. Listen to Brad.
The president had talked about making America the crypto capital of the world on 60 Minutes. And I remember thinking to myself as I was doing this interview, like the fact that the president is on 60 Minutes talking about crypto, that alone, I would not have thought we would be here. So, I mean, look, the journey that many of us have been on with the crypto industry has been long. It's had ups, it's had downs. Certainly the SEC lawsuit that the SEC suing Ripple was a painful part of that chapter for Ripple. And I really think for the industry, because it was so important. But it is a much brighter day.
It is a much brighter day. From the White House all the way to Wall Street, from policy to payments, XRP is no longer the outsider. It is becoming the infrastructure, folks. The dots. They're all connecting. The White House is pro-crypto. Ripple is backed by Wall Street, and XRP is being integrated into the global payments system. And its price, it directly impacts Ripple's future IPO valuation. This isn't a coincidence. This is all coordination. Do you understand now why they wanted to keep the price down for so long? Do you understand because they were building out the new financial system? When policy, power, and payments collide, that is where generational wealth, that is where that shift happens. So if you're watching this right now, I want you just to remember that you are early. Repost this if you're connecting the dots with me. Book that one-on-one call, smash that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, follow me, make sure you stay ahead of the narrative that they don't want you to see.